Hi everyone, this is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I'm here today to film my Christmas book haul. Now, the first thing I want to note is I'm filming this video from using my new tripod that I received for Christmas from my parents. So I'm very excited to finally have a real live actual tripod that works and means that I can film from lots of different locations. So I'm currently, just sitting in front of my Christmas tree because I thought that would be nice this time of year, and also because these are the books that I received for Christmas for the most part, although there are a few that I bought myself for Christmas as well. So let's just get to the book, shall we? The first book I received is the new Stephen King. This is Elevation, and it's just a short little book. It's 142 pages long, and I just will let you know, if you are not a Stephen King fan, that this book is not horror in any way. It's all about a man who is losing weight, but that doesn't show on the outside. Like, he steps on the scale every day, and every day his weight is less, but he looks the same. He looks like he weighs his original weight. Nobody can tell. He feels great, but just every day he steps on the scale and he's lost 1 or 2 more pounds, and what that does to him. In the meantime, he is in sort of not a battle in real life, but a struggle of wills with his neighbors who are lesbians, and it sort of brings the whole idea of gay marriage into this small Maine town and how the locals react to having a married gay couple in their midst. So there's that whole aspect of the story. It's a very heartwarming, quick read. Not Stephen King's best. I've already read this. I read it last night after all of our Christmas shenanigans were over with. It's not his best work, but it is a heartwarming, quick read, so I would recommend it for that. The next book I picked up is book 2 in the Morgan Crow series. This is a middle grade fantasy series. The first book is Nevermore, and this is Wundersmith by Jessica Townsend. So this continues the adventures of Morgan Crow, our main protagonist, as she enters sort of a magical academic environment and what happens to her there. I really enjoyed the first book in this series. It's sort of been all over BookTube, been described. I would describe it as sort of a cross between Harry Potter and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It has that whimsy of Willy Wonka, and it has that sort of magical school, making new friends, learning your powers sort of feel to it that Harry Potter does. Book 3 is a book I've been wanting to read for a long time. This is Barkskins by Proulx. This is a historical fiction that takes place in North America, what is now Canada. 2 brothers move to what is now Canada and become involved in the wood products or forestry industry in the late 17th century, and it sort of follows those 2 men as they split and follow 2 different paths and their ancestors through time, what happens to each of the 2 branches of the family. This is a book that is quite chunky, but I've heard lots of great things about it, and I'm super interested to finally get to this one. I'm hoping that, Mel, you're still interested in reading this together at some point in 2019. Book 4 is a very chunky nonfiction. This is These Truths, History of the United States by Jill Lepore. Jill Lepore is an author that I've read before. She wrote a really excellent nonfiction called The Secret History of Wonder Woman, which I read a couple of years ago. And this book is a history of the entire, sort of an overview of the entire history of the United States, and how the original premise for the formation of the country, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, blah, 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 how that plays out in today's current environment, if that's still something that we can point to in this country as the foundation of our society, and if that still applies. And it sort of takes a look at all of our history, good and bad, through the lens of the original intent, or at least what was written in the intent of the Constitution. So looking forward to that. I really like Jill Lepore's writing. And then the last book that I received for Christmas, by the way, all of these books I received from my parents, so thanks to them. I'm very excited to read all of these. And the last one that I received is The Fifth Risk by Michael Lewis. I had listened to an excerpt of this book on Audible. It was available free to me as an Audible member a few months ago. I really enjoyed the writing style. And this is all about how the current administration in the United States is dealing with the different agencies that collect information and or not, basically. So there's all of these different agencies like the Census Bureau and the Commerce Department and NOAA and all these other government agencies that collect tons of information and data, and that data is used to make decisions in this country. But if people aren't appointed to lead those agencies, or people who are appointed to lead these agencies that don't know anything about what the agency does or the importance of the information that the agency collects, how that could negatively impact the United States and the world. This talks a lot about, at least the excerpt that I listened to talked a lot about weather information that's collected and how if that is not put to good use, you know, it causes actual public risk for, you know, storms coming and not being prepared and all of that, you know, agriculture and crop damage and all of these different things. So I really enjoyed the section that I've listened to so far with this. Looking forward to continuing on with it. And then before Christmas, during the book outlet sale, I picked up 3 books for myself that I really have been wanting to read, and they were pretty cheap at Book Outlet. So the first one is Inside Out and Back Again by Thanhha. I'm sorry, I'm sure I butchered that. This is a middle grade fiction written in verse about a young girl and her family who have to flee Vietnam after the fall of Saigon and during the Vietnam War. I believe they come to the United States and settle in the United States, and it's all about her experiences leaving her country and coming to this country and how that impacts her life. And I've heard nothing but good things about that. The next book I picked up is one that was recommended to me by my niece. I had never heard of this book, and it's actually, this is the first in a series. This is a YA. This is called The Program by Suzanne Young. And this is about, this looks at a future society where suicide is an epidemic, and young people are put into these programs in order to monitor them and sort of try to change their behavior and supposedly to keep them safe. And this follows a young girl named Sloan, and Sloan doesn't want to be put into this so-called the program in capital letters, because everybody that comes back from the program is a blank slate. Basically, all of their personality and memories are completely wiped clean, and she doesn't want to have to experience that. So it follows her story, and I believe there's a love interest in this. And then it looks like there's 4 other books in the series. If I like this one, I will continue on. And then the last book that I picked up is one that's been talked about a lot on BookTube. This is The Soul of an Octopus by Montgomery, and the tagline is A Surprising Exploration into the Wonder of Consciousness. This nonfiction book explores octopi, and how they think and communicate, or the connection that they make with other things in their environment, including people in some cases. I've heard also nothing but good things about this one. I know Doris picked this up as well over the Book Outlet holiday sale, so I think this is going to be a great read. Certainly looking forward to it. Probably won't put this one off until Nonfiction November. I imagine I'll be picking this one up sooner because I love books about nature and science so much. So those are the books that I have acquired over Christmas and before Christmas. I'm super excited about all of them. I hope that you all received some good books for Christmas. I did also get some Amazon gift cards, but I am going to keep those off to the side, and hopefully that will allow me to pick up some new books a little bit later on into 2019 when I'm feeling the need to go shopping again. So I hope you all receive some good books to read for Christmas, and that you're maybe getting some time off over this week. I have this week off. I don't have to go back to work until after the new year. So I am excited to have the holidays behind me and time off in front of me in order to read some of these great books. Hope you're all doing well, and I'll talk to you later.